So I gotta say, I felt a little bit rushed making the TFCON video, and I really wanted to go more in depth into Fanstoys and MMC. And I actually told you guys I was gonna go more in depth into Fanstoys and MMC. And so here you go. I really want to talk about this, and we're gonna see some side by sides. We're gonna see some comparisons to what's out there and why what we saw at TFCon was actually a really big deal. A lot of people act like it's underwhelming, but I'm blown away still, and I'm excited, and I got bucks set aside to buy the stuff that they showed. I think that's overwhelming. So anyway, I really don't. That's what's going to cost, though. Let's get into this. Let's start with MMC. First off, I want to talk about Ramhorn. Now, Ramhorn, I don't know if they call it high fidelity motif. Is that what that one is? I don't know. But the only other Ramhorn we have in the masterpiece scale comes from KFC. Now, KFC gave us something that we did not have, and it's the only other version. And it was mediocre, but it was there. And I was excited to get it, and I still have it, and I'm happy I have it. But MMC is going to be massive. If it's the same size as their Jaguar, then it will be massively impressive. And on top of that, I'm actually looking at this thing and thinking, wow, it looks good too. It looks solid. I don't feel like the horn's going to fall off. Like the horn fell off of my pink version. By the time I got my actual KFC red version, I did not touch the horn to save my life, so it didn't fall off. But the pink version one fell off. So anyhow, I think it looks good, and I'm really excited. Next, let's move on to Steeljaw. Now, KFC Steeljaw wasn't a bad figure. It wasn't horrible. It was a little undersized, but I think it was probably the best of all of the KFC tapes. And I know KFC gets crap for their tapes and their hands, but you know what? What's worse? Doing nothing? At least they did something. They gave us something that nobody else wanted to give us until MMC. Now, finally, 7 years later, 7 years later, finally gives us. So I'm happy with it. I am glad that I'm getting the MMC, and I will not get rid of my KFC version simply because, well, it fits in Blaster's chest. These will not, but they will be awesome. So let's talk about their rewind and eject, which I guess is the pitch and the forte. I don't know. I truly do not know which one is associated with which one. But the truth be told, I think MMC is going to blow KFC out of the water 5-7 years later. But it's still amazing that KFC gave us what they gave us. And as fragile as the KFCs are, I know the MMCs, you'll be able to manhandle these, manipulate these, and do a whole lot more than I was able to do with the original KFCs. But that's the thing. These are so much better, so much more exciting. And are they 4 times better? Well, $15 for KFC, which is what they're going for these days, or $60 for the MMC. Yes, 4 times better. So I think everybody really wants to be excited about Fanstoys. Guess what? So am I. But I gotta say, you know what's really funny is that when I bought 6 of the MP13 Toys R Us versions back in the day and started trading them I traded one to my good buddy for an MP10 so I didn't have to pay $300 for it, and then I traded, and anyway, I don't have those anymore. But the truth be told, everybody wanted the tapes. Nobody cared about Soundwave. You can get Soundwave himself shortly after the huge Soundwave craze for a song and a dance. The tapes were what were the money, and that's why I don't understand why people are just down on the tapes. We're gonna start with Soundwave, and then we're gonna get into the tapes. But the tapes are where it's at with Soundwave. Soundwave looks good. Soundwave looks great. We're going to start talking about the new version versus the old version. And I want to say that I knew the old version, the original Acoustic Wave FT02, would not hold up to today's engineering, and they would have to change it. But I didn't realize how drastically they'd change it. And I want to say Acoustic Wave 2019 is absolutely amazing, and it just blows my mind. I didn't realize Fanstoys was going to go this far. I know redesigning the whole thing head to toe, and if you look at the head sculpts, head, you look at the feet, toe, head to toe, it is not the same figure. It's almost as if they completely designed another figure and it's from a whole different toy line. It's amazing. It looks awesome. And then it blows MP13 away, so let's do that comparison next. So MP13 felt good, but I never felt it was great. In fact, I felt like the lower, right below his waist, the whole way they did the legs looked like it was off. The kibble on his lower legs was really bad, and the feet didn't look right. But I want to say I was just thankful to get what we got at the time. And I really think that's the way we do this in collecting. Like, we get something that is better than we've ever seen, and it's the best that we get, but we look at it and we say, yeah, it's still not walk off the screen cartoon, but I live in reality, so I can't get good enough. This is all, I'll live with this. Fanstoys comes by and says, no. Let's go back into fantasy world with our awesome designs, and blows this out of the water. So anyone sitting here saying that the original MP13 is better than the Fanstoys design is just defending their purchase. I bought 6 of these, and I'm not defending it at all, because I think Fanstoys is better. Fanstoys isn't perfect, but this design is amazing, and it impresses me. And they're stepping into a new realm, which is a super toon look. But you're gonna get the metallic paint. It will have the metallic paint. I don't really, I miss the whole debate over metallic paint. Metallic paint is what we like absolutely the most about Fanstoys. We like metallic paint about Fanstoys more than any other aspect of Fanstoys. Then second is the aesthetic build. Metallic paint first, the aesthetic build second, and then the fact that everything is 100% G1. Fanstoys has never released anything that is one step outside of G1 except for a repaint to slightly G2, and then it's back to G1. Let's talk about the tapes, because I actually think the tapes are even bigger and more massive than their Soundwave. Yes, everyone's blown away by Soundwave. Well, if you're not, then I don't know what planet you live on, but the tapes are even more impressive because they not only one-up the engineering of Takara, which of course is 6 years old, but we're one-upping the engineering of, yes, even that of the MMC tapes. The MMC Buzzsaw and Laserbeak were probably the poorest showing of MMC, simply because of one reason, the size. And I think that this will be the ultimate epitome of Buzzsaw and Laserbeak, because the fact that it'll size right. And we don't know the size, but I'm assuming it's based off of a G1 size tape that fits in the chest, and I think they're all going to be G1 size tapes. I think they're going to figure out a way to expand the rest of these past this, but the G1 size fits okay in the Masterpiece when it comes to the birds. The MMC birds are too big. I have them, and I like them, and I'm not getting rid of them ever, but they're too big, and they don't work right. Next, I talk a little bit about Rumble and Frenzy, and I'm going to say that the Rumble and Frenzy that Fanstoys has coming out look great. They look amazing. I fear they're going to be a little bit smaller than what MMC gave us. They're going to be, well, quite a bit smaller. I think they'll actually be a little bit bigger than what Takara gave us. And the reason is because I look at the way that they've done this, and they didn't show you the back. I think these things are going to be ridiculously hollow from the back to achieve the size and proportions that they want, and to make it give you that mass shifting that is required to take a smaller cassette that fits in like a G1 to go to a masterpiece-esque size bot. I really think that's what's going to happen. We don't know this stuff yet. There's still a huge amount of mystery, and there's more mystery I'm going to talk about in a second. But I think these look amazing, and I've heard that people go, oh, they look bland and blah, blah, blah. But if you notice, even in this render, you see the line work, which once it's painted will just amaze you. This is an example of where paint takes great to amazing. You'll see that. Now, I'm a Fanstoys fan, but I always talk about what I think is negative. If there's a problem, I'm going to bring it up. And the gappiness you're going to see from behind is a problem, but I never display them from behind. So when I bought those 6 sets of MP13s back in the day, I was so excited about these tapes. I love the tapes. I have probably more than that in the G1 sets, and they're reissuing these G1 cassettes in Walmart pretty soon for the fall. So if you want the G1 cassettes, you could get those. And I don't know, I think they'll be like 15 or 20 bucks for a set. I don't know just yet the pricing on it. But anyhow, looking at Fanstoys versus the Takara version, I absolutely love what Fanstoys has done here. Now, let's get the negative out of the way. The back of him, if you look at the bottom picture, the back is super wide open, which is kind of goofy. But the rest looks awesome. You don't see it with paint. I can see paint all over this thing. I can see chrome all over this thing. Metallic all over this thing. I would love this. This is going to look amazing. I am going to get blown away by this whole set. Look at it versus Takara. Now, Takara, when it came out, was mind-blowing because it integrated the parts that have always been added on. The bombs in the back. And it did the same thing with the birds. It didn't do it with the 2 figures, the Rumble and Frenzy. But it did it with this. And I was highly impressed with that. And Fanstoys is doing this to the next level, to the nth degree. Now, they could have made 2 small pieces from the back of the neck fold over to fill that gap. And by the way, we still have enough time. And since Fanstoys and HasLab watch my channel for ideas, they can fix that. And when they fix that, you'll know they learned it from Tiberium Hanger. But the thing is, this looks great. Now, the big question is, will these tapes be included with Soundwave? Will they be sold separately? My guess is $180 for Soundwave and 4 cassettes. And why is that my guess? Because it's a predatory tactic. In the end, people actually want the cassettes more. You may deny it all you want, but the cassettes sell more than Soundwave. And it was proven with MP13, and it's proven again. It'll get proven again here. It's proven with MMC doesn't even make a Soundwave or a blaster, and they're going to sell their cassettes more. I guarantee it. But look at this. These cassettes look great. And it's a predatory tactic to make you want to buy their Soundwave. And then, of course, it's superior to the MP13. I have 2 MP13s left. I know Fanstoys is winning here. So what else did Fanstoys reveal? Well, they revealed their FT21 Berserker, and I gotta tell you that this reveal was far more interesting than anybody wants to talk about. And the thing is that this FT21 Berserker was a complete scrap of their original design and a complete and total overhaul. Let's look at these two and I'll tell you why. The first one is, if you start at the top and work your way down, they have made this thing more substantially balanced. The original design was KFC style, top heavy. If you look at this thing, everything is squished in, squished down. The bottom of the legs are beefier and heavier, and I guarantee you that almost everything in those legs in the new one is die cast. Plus, you can see the new one looks more like a real design. You can see the treads in the bottom leg that go towards making the tank. You can see in the old design, it was like a fantasy. And yes, they did have a picture, if I could put that up, of an actual mold that they created, and it couldn't stand on its own. So the new one, the old one looks good and smooth. The new one looks more like reality that we're going to live in. And I have to tell you, I'm okay with accepting the reality of this. And I don't think it'll be out by the end of this year. There's a huge push of people thinking it's going to be out by the end of 2019. This is the 2019 version. The other one was a 2012, 13, 16? 2016 version. Next up we have Spindrift 2.0, and I want to tell you a couple of things about this. Number one, their first Spindrift was a cool looking figure. I thought it was a cool looking figure. It functioned. It felt solid, like a decent figure. But it didn't look like Sea Spray. It was too far from the animation, and if you just weren't associated with the animation and you just said, I want a good looking figure that worked okay, it would work fine. And it was a little bit too short, a little bit too small, in my opinion. And then we had Toy World, and now X-Transbots is winning. So the only complaint I've heard from anybody on the internet from hundreds of discussions is that the X-Transbots has metallic paint, but I personally like metallic paint. I almost got rid of my Toy World to get the Zeta metallic paint, but the mold, I knew there was an X-Transbots coming and didn't figure it'd be worth it. X-Transbots is going to win this. I'm still going to buy Spindrift 2.0. Not because I think it's better, just because I want it to go with my other 15 Sea Sprays. I don't have that many. I think I got 6. But anyway, this is a really cool battle that's going on here. Fanstoys is trying to show dominance over X-Transbots because X-Transbots will win here. X-Transbots is also going to win in Springer. I've been predicting this for over a year. I've got my money in this for over a year. I have bought and pre-ordered and paid for this stuff. But Fanstoys is not going to go down without a fight. That's the one figure that they feel like they lost. I feel like they should have felt like they lost on a few others, but like Rouge. But anyway, nobody really won with RC yet. So I guess they can't lose if there's no winner. Again, how is Sea Spray so short? How does he not level up to the rest of the mini-bots? Guess what? X-Transbots will fit in to Fanstoys figures better than Fanstoys 2.0. End of story. Okay, so we have been shown a Huffer. And I want to tell you that their Huffer looks super tuned. Hyper tuned. I gotta say, Fanstoys is stepped out of having 1 foot in tune and 1 foot in reality, and stepped both feet into hypertune with the new figures that they have shown. And I'm okay with it. Because guess what? You see this other picture of the Huffer from Bad Cube and the Cube X Huff, which both have more of a mix. The Cube X Huff is the old school metallic look all around, and then the Bad Cube Huffer is the 1 step in reality and 1 step in tune. The Fanstoys going in 2 steps into tune. Now, I don't mind having their versions since I have so many that are realistic. This will be like my 5th version of Huffer when I get it. But a lot of people are offended by that, or put off by that, or maybe they just don't want to spend more money on a Huffer, which isn't really that great of a character to some people. I like him because, hey, he's the guy who's going to pull Prime's trailer. Like, where did that trailer go anyway? Huffer's pulling it all this time. All this time that trailer is getting pulled by Huffer. And then there's that reveal of good old Cliffjumper. And I've got to say that no company has done Cliffjumper well. And then we all looked to Takara for their Bumblebee, which I gotta say, the Bumblebee looks good except for the feet and a bit of a cluster on the back. But if the feet got cleaned up a little bit on Bumblebee, and then that was turned into Cliffjumper, we'd all be okay. But I don't see why this figure is so freaking hard. He's not that hard. Come on, guys. Fanstoys is going to show us that it's not really that hard. It's only going to have a 37-step transformation, but it's not going to be that hard to give you a G1 accurate, decent-looking Cliffjumper. I have Toro from X-Transbots, and I'm okay with the backpack. But in the end, it feels weird the way you do it. I'm not going to lie, it just feels weird. But I've got him anyway. He's my Cliffjumper. But I probably will get this Fanstoys, and it'll take precedence over my X-Transbots in that case. But Fanstoys will have, what, 3, 4, 5 years lead time on that? So who really knows? So lastly, I'm going to talk about the reveal of Blaster. And there's a lot to talk about here. We're going to sum it up pretty quick so the video doesn't get too long. But I have the KFC Transistor. In fact, KFC Transistor was my 4th third-party figure that made me jump into... I went from 4 to like 20 overnight. Because when I bought him, I bought a whole collection. And he was the reason I went after third-party in a way. Now, I want to say that it's a good bot, but when I got him, I said he's not perfect. And I got him because I was using a Combiner Wars blaster, or whatever was going on at the time that made a blaster. And I was trying to pass that off on my MP shelf, and I knew it didn't work. It felt out of place. This guy felt right on a Masterpiece shelf. But if Fanstoys does the magic that they did with this Soundwave, I am all in on the Fanstoys Blaster. And then, if they do the same magic they did with their tapes, I'm all in on their Blaster. It's amazing what they've done with this Soundwave. I wonder if it translates over to the same with their Blaster. KFC is not bad at all by any stretch of the imagination. If I never get a better blaster than KFC, I'm okay. But I can't believe no other company's done it. Like here we are dangling out almost 2012 to 2019 that we have solidified the 9-inch scale since 2010 MP10. Sorry, and we have yet to get a second version of Blaster from anybody. And the rumor is Takara is doing a Blaster. But maybe the rumor Takara is doing a Blaster is that Fanstoys do in Blaster, and Takara and Fanstoys are so intermingled that Fanstoys would never step on Takara's toes directly. What they do is wait 2-3 years to step on their toes when the figure has already been out and everybody's bought it and is sick of it. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of these reveals? What are you in on? Are you going to pass on all of this to get Unicron? Like, subscribe, Titanium Hanger out.